So, ready to start, even though some more external guests will join. Warm welcome to our fourth AI Career Webcast. My name is Jens. I'm located in Germany, close to Düsseldorf. I'm overall responsible for the AI Career Webcast series. And I really would like to warm welcome you from all over the world, mainly from Europe, joining today for our fourth AI Career Webcast focusing on financial service industries. Um, this webcast is mainly for you. So I would only already now invite you to use the opportunity to ask any kind of questions, topic related. It can be industry related, technology related, but as well career related questions. I guess you are all familiar with Zoom, with the functionalities. You have the Q&A chat, and we will have enough time at the third part of the webcast today to cover your questions. And this is already from my end, so I don't want to steal too much time. And I would like to introduce now my respected colleague, Maria. Maria is Senior Manager in our AI Institute. She's located in the beautiful south of Germany in Munich, and she can look back already on a very impressive career. She's a banker by trade, started some years ago in this area, has two educational degrees. On the one hand, from the Frankfurt School of Finance, and on the other hand, the famous and very prestigious Stanford University in California. After she started as a banker and consultant, she joined already a few years ago the Allianz Group, worked there around 10 years in the asset management, Allianz Global Investors. And the last 7 years, already a long time ago, ChatGPT covered the market and pushed the AI topic forward. She was already working very intensively always in the intersection of technology and business. She managed teams of AI strategies and engineers at Europe's leading AI think tank, and finally, then she decided to join Deloitte in the early of 2024. So warm welcome, Maria. Before I completely hand over to you, we would like to start with a short Menti question, so a kind of icebreaker. I guess you are as well already familiar with this, so maybe we can quickly start with this question, asking or inviting you to share your thoughts. Hopefully it's viewable for you. Just a second. Now it's coming. I guess you're all familiar as well with Menti. You can use the QR code, or if you have the Menti app, with the code. And the question is, where we would like to invite you, how do you envision the future of banking in an era of AI? So, of course, we are curious to learn what are your thoughts, maybe as well what are your questions. So feel free to use the opportunity. Hopefully it works, because we are still waiting now for some statements coming in. Obviously, hopefully, maybe you can give me just a quick sign while now it's working. I was already kind of nervous that the technology is not working the way it should be. So I guess we give you a few seconds, maybe a short minute for you, and then Maria is already able to have a first view, and hopefully we have some answers for you, and as well this gives us some guidance for the later Q&A. So having this said, I wish you lots of fun. Hopefully not only a few, but a lot of interesting insights, and warm welcome once again to Maria, and over to you.
Thank you, Jens, for the kind introduction words, and also for having me here today for really this very, very important topic, and really bringing this also closer to the global community, how AI is disrupting the financial services industry. And I can see already the comments popping in. Very diverse picture right now. really positive, and also some challenges already raised here with no borders, risk, and so on. But obviously, then also a lot of opportunities. So smarter, safer AI agents, and so on. Really interesting and a nice picture. I think let's wait another minute, but on my end at least, nothing. Ah, it's changing again. Okay. I just want to give you the opportunity to share with us your thoughts while thinking, what does it mean for you? What's your opinion on that? All right, but I feel now it's not really changing anymore. So thanks a lot. As I said, very diverse already. And I hope I can then also cover in the next part already a couple of dimensions you posted here. All right, and I hope you all can see my screen. So this is the topic of today, and I really want to start with you bringing it a bit closer to the topic, how we started off, what brought us where we are today, and share a bit also looking into the future. Because AI, and I think there is zero doubt, AI is the defining technology trend also in the future and also in our times right now. And as Jens mentioned already, so when I started years ago working in this field, so it was everything around classical machine learning. It was a lot around really predictive cases. It was really then also built upon neural networks, and it was everything around models that were able then to learn and also to digest a lot of data points to basically then also predict the future outcomes. So currently we are at the age of GenAI. With its iPhone moment, so to say, with the release in November 2022. Why iPhone moment? So that technology, or with the release of ChatGPT, so this brought this technology basically out of a very niche field where just experts like data scientists, AI engineers were able to train and also manage such solution towards really the general public. So how did we get at that stage? Basically, we can this boil down towards the three main enablers or key drivers. So the first one is really compute. There is a lot of computing power available, and this is really growing also exponential. Quite interlinked with data. Data is really the oxygen for AI, and the large language model behind the Gen AI solutions we are seeing today are basically really trained with the entire available data from the internet. So for us humans, really massive amount of data. This is really unbelievable and rarely not accessible for us humans. And the combination and the third driver of model complexity. And we have really a very vibrant developer community, not just in these technology organizations or AI boutiques, but we also have a very vibrant open source community. And here it's happening a lot. And the three drivers, they are really growing exponentially and really very fast. So this is why we are here today with GenAI. That brought us here. And when you look at the curve you can already see, okay, this is already starting going exponentially. And when we look in the near future, we already have the next innovation around the corner with autonomous agents, with AI agents, so to say. And basically, this is possible due to two further key drivers, which is first reasoning and then also taking action. And that's very important. And comparing to the solutions we have right now, where a specific or a certain GenAI solution can really then also create a certain output like text or text summarization, creating a movie, a short movie, or even a picture. So these systems are built that they are able to walk through a certain decision tree and decide the best course of action for a given task, more or less. And with this decision, they can then also trigger this activity right now. And actually, due to the connected APIs and also workflows. So it's really going towards autonomous agents where we, as the humans, are staying in the loop. And you can imagine, so if we are moving towards more autonomous systems and we can offload repetitive tasks, so that comes really with a huge value impact. So this is an estimate from Bloomberg, and we see a value of 1.3 trillion US dollar in just the next 7 years. So this is really massive. I'm based in Munich in Germany. So just to set this in context, it's about 1/3 of the German GDP. So this is really, really massive. And when we look into the wider future, so we connect these agents then also with the physical world through robotics to create really physical AI. And you can also expect then further advancements due to other large technology like computing power. Just look at the quantum AI field. So this really broadens broaden the field of opportunities in this field. And if you look at the curve, you see this is really gonna be exponentially, and this is really coming at a fast pace. Even if we feel nowadays, okay, this is really fast moving, we will see shorter and shorter innovation cycles, and that's very important to understand, to no longer just look at it, so really then also to react. So in a nutshell, we can say we are moving technology-wise from more AI assist solutions towards really AI automation. And that comes along with really a massive value potential for especially the financial service industry, but also obviously other industries. But let's now look a bit deeper into the financial service industry, and especially what does it mean for banks. So for banks, the AI revolution is really changing the game for them. When you look where we started off with the classical banking, where it was really pretty much branch-based, so you need to go to a certain branch to execute some transactions, really everything very paper-based and physically more or less really this one-on-one interactions 20 years ago. And then we moved towards so-called digital transformation also for banks, where we really started off really delivering more modern multi-channel experiences, really allowing private citizens doing banking 24/7 and also at the edge. So it was basically around building better customer journeys across these channels, and then also coming up with purely mobile only banks like Revolut or N26. Obviously also coming up with smart payment solutions, as we know it already since years with PayPal, but that was actually really the beginning also of this digital transformation. And then a lot of robo-investing offerings were popping up, helping us to do smarter investments. So the current and the third stage is everything around really building the intelligent bank, really rethinking banking for an AI-first world, and really moving beyond this human-to-human interaction and preparing really the world where we prefer really an intelligent agent helping us to do smart decisions with the access of really all relevant information, not just only the information coming from the bank itself, but really then also augmenting, combining it with our personal information to serve you best. And if I listen, for example, to younger folks, so to my teenage boys and their friends, I had really some eye-opening moments because they mentioned, well, Maria, I prefer really interacting with the machine because I believe the machine is trained with the entire information I would need for a certain decision, combining this with my data and helping me to make the best decision for me, rather than really interacting with a human where they are really unsure due to this information bias and just incomplete picture. So that was for me to at least really eye-opening because this is really then changing how we look at banks and what we expect primarily also for banks. So I would like to do a double click into a banking value chain. So a banking value chain always consists of front, a middle, and a back office. And for the sake of time, I really want to focus more on the front end, obviously. So AI is really changing or impacting the whole value chain. But let's look at the front office. So what can we expect? So AI will really change how we interact with customers. So this customer interaction will change, and we will create more and more natural, human-like interfaces for both for voice, but then also for text-based. And I just want to give you a simple example. For example, saying I want to increase my rent payment by 50 euro. And the system understands they had the system has all information, the historical information coming from the bank, and then also the context data, understands natural language, and then can really execute the task. If not, I get smart questions back to clarify and then to execute. So you see where we are heading. Another example would be really getting advice right in advance to do better decisions. For example, Maria, in October, you have a lot of insurance payments due beginning of the next year, so in January. So why not saving away 100 euro per month to do such payments then basically in January. So you feel where we are heading, and that has a huge potential for banks. We assess that. We see a value potential for banks of around 200 billion until 2032. And this is really massive. And that means, so banks really need to adopt and think through what does it mean for them in the future, how to set up their business and how to think through their business models. And this is where Deloitte come into play as consultants and also as technology whisperers. And this is why I personally really like working as a Deloitte consultant to help then really also our clients to shape their future, to really think through, to evaluate their business model. What does it mean? How to prepare? Because we actively want that our clients really actively shape their future, being the steamroller, shaping the road and not getting overrolled. So that's our ambition, and that's our mission, really also to help our clients to shape their future. So imagine you will start working with Deloitte from tomorrow onwards. What could be a possible assignment for you? Probably working on something like this. How can we improve our bottom line by 100 million with the help of AI? And actually, this is a question we receive very regularly. So how do we tackle this? So we break this down into modules. And I just want to give you a sneak peek. It's not the comprehensive picture, but helping you to understand, okay, how comprehensive this will be, and how diverse are the modules covered. So the first one is we start always with the AI ambition and strategy, helping our clients to understand and define basically the why. So what do we want to reach and how do we want to reach this? This is very often and also interconnected with the current state in terms of talent and also organizational AI readiness. So basically assessing the status quo. So which skills do we have already in an organization? Which skills do we need in the future? How to close the gap with learner journeys and enablement programs, but then also how to adopt the organization for AI. So that's very important. And obviously a lot of questions around what is my preferred AI use case portfolio. So a lot of discussion. So where are the huge value pools? What are the bigger cases? Doing really the technical feasibility assessment and then also the business value assessment, helping our clients really to establish a long list and then from there walk down and understand, okay, are there solutions already out in the market we can hopefully then sooner than later to bring alive, and where are the strategic bets where we really need to think how to systematically build this up to leverage really this unfair advantage of our unique data. And this is also very important, and we get very often in this context and also the question, so what are the relevant partnerships for us as organization? And this is very unique for Deloitte. We have already established years ago tech partners, an AI tech ecosystem with organizations, hyperscalers you can see here, and also beyond. We are very often the implementation partner of the year, and we closely work with them, leveraging their technology and their innovation power. Because if I just pick out NVIDIA, NVIDIA itself is not establishing or helping you to bring this alive in your organization, but we do. We have experts and we closely collaborate to help our organization to leverage this technology and their innovation power. So that's very important to know, and this is also fun working in this environment. But as you can see already, so giving you a flavor, it is a very broad set of modules we need to tackle to help organization, and that needs then basically also a diverse set of roles. And this is what I want to share with you. Yes, we have the tech roles and we need the tech roles. So as you can see, the data scientists, the data engineers or AI engineers, the architects, and so on. But it's also important to have the non-technical roles, so the more business relevant topics covered, like working with AI strategists, operational designers, human capital experts, also experts in terms of what is the ethical implication or how to set up then also an AI governance. And we have many more operational experts and process experts. And overall, this is really fun and very enriching, really to learn from each other. And then when we see, okay, this delivers really a high impact on our client side, this is really cool. And on top of that, I can just say it's also fun working with us. We have a lot of events during the week, on the week, and as you can see here, even if it's just going to the beer garden or doing some skiing trips together, hiking trips, or even sailing trips. So it is also fun working with us. How I want to wrap this up, I mean, AI is here to stay. And AI is one of the most important topics for many industry, not just the financial services industry. And doing the next career step in this field is maybe, or creates maybe a solid career foundation in this field, because it will rapidly evolving and it will stay really very, very interesting and also engaging. This is my perspective, and I want to stop here and also give my colleagues, I brought 3 colleagues of mine I'm closely working with, to the stage for the panel, and I would like to introduce them right now. And I stop sharing here, just a sec. So please welcome with me Jessica Peach. Jessica Peach is joining from the Frankfurt office, started working with Deloitte already 8 years ago. And she has a background in international management, studied in Germany, Ireland, and France. She's working in the banking transformation sector, and her focus is on AI governance and AI operational model. And Jessica is a very sporty person. It helps her to find her balance doing high intensity training and Pilates. Jessica, welcome to the panel. Great to have you.
Thank you very much. Hello from my side.
All right, next up, Daniel. Daniel is joining from a small town close to Porto, which is in the north of Portugal. He joined Deloitte directly after university, so in 2013 already, and he has a strong focus on financial services and also a lot of experience in developing AI solutions for FSI clients. And he worked already in many different countries with Deloitte, for example, in Denmark and Canada. And he's also a very sporty person, and he's doing magic tricks. So we need to follow up on that, Daniel. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria.
And last, but certainly not least, Christoph, welcome. Christoph has been in consulting already 10 years. So he's joining us from Cologne, Germany. He has a degree in business informatics, and he is leading the German data and machine learning engineering team. So, and his focus is on operationalizing AI, mainly designing technical journeys and then also scalable architectures. And Christoph is a very busy person. He has 3 young daughters, and next to the AI challenges, he is also fighting to get a good sleep, a good night's sleep. So Christoph, welcome.
Thanks a lot, Maria. Thanks for the kind introduction, and good afternoon to everyone.
Great, and let's start and dive directly a bit deeper into your personal backgrounds. And to all of you, so what brought you to the topic of AI? Maybe let's start with Daniel. So what made this topic so exciting for you, and how did you develop into this role you currently have?
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone, once again. Again, I've always considered myself someone very, very curious. But just to go a little bit back, so when I joined Deloitte, I did not start working on AI. So I was actually doing implementations on very large transformation programs, actually helping clients move data from their very old legacy systems to new systems. But one thing that I was doing by the time was working with a lot of data, because the decisions we were making, they were purely based on the data. And that made me realize that there was a lot of value on the banks, on the data that we would be able to leverage and to build AI solutions. And at the time, even before this wow moment, iPhone moment, as Maria was describing before from ChatGPT, started to work on more predictive AI models. But then that was when this boom happened with ChatGPT, November 30th, 2022. I never forget that date. It was when I started to realize it was really going to be completely different what we have been doing, and that we would be able to actually transform easily what we were doing with clients and be completely disruptive by building new use cases. So really what excites me, and just to emphasize this space on AI, is to see a lot of creativity and innovation and with this technology, we actually can make that happen and turn those ideas that would be very complex in the past to transform into reality. And now it's something that we can somehow easily do it with this technology, or easier. And we will get that exponential growth of new ideas and new things coming up that will disrupt this industry for sure.
Thank you. So really interesting. And for me, it sounds really very solid, because you started with the data part, right? Understanding data management, getting it right, and then moving forward with the technology itself. So sounds really, really a great fundament for your career track. I would move over to you, Jessica. So from your point of view, so what is the most exciting aspect using AI technologies in the banking industry?
Okay, then thank you first of all, Maria, for the chance. Maybe we start from the beginning when I started at Deloitte. So during my first years at Deloitte, I've learned that projects within the banking industry more or less are driven by regulations and the need to meet those requirements. So somehow the focus of this compliance thing or meeting the requirements overshadowed somehow the innovation within the banking industry. So the projects were more focused on regulatory and changing the operating model regarding the regulatory requirements from the state. Then I observed that banks were still primarily focused on this topic rather than embracing innovative technologies like AI. More likely, they were focused on digitization, but not likely on the technology on AI till 2022. But however, my interest in AI led me to research on a new topic on AI. And then I recognized that other sectors, for example, next to the banking industry are more like, already integrating AI in their daily operations. And somehow I was like focusing, okay, when will be the time that AI will come to the banking industry? But bringing ChatGPT on the market in 2022, however, seems to have sparked the interest in AI within the banking industry. So from then we saw that banks are more integrating or exploring how to integrate AI, but also following the regulatory requirements such as GDPR or the new EU AI Act. But the important question that were raised by the banks is, okay, how do I start integrating AI? What should I have to consider regarding the guidelines? Or how can I implement the technology? Is my data ready? So these are the questions we were facing like 1 or 2 years ago. And for me, the exciting point in this world of AI in the banking industry is that the balance to enhance efficiency and innovation while ensuring the data trust for which the banking sector is normally known. And it's fascinating to see how the regulatory-driven sector is like beginning to recognize and utilize the transformative potential of AI. So balancing the regulatory requirements and with innovation is certainly a challenge for the banking sector, but it's also an opportunity for the future, which we will face next years.
Thank you, Jessica. That's really interesting to hear. This is really this first slowly and then suddenly, right? Moving forward on the AI journey, and to tackle this really also comprehensively and see as really as an opportunity and have this balance as you just mentioned. So Christoph, over to you. So what's the most fascinating for you to work in this intersection, AI and financial services industry?
Yeah, and maybe also starting a bit with my background on how I came to that. So as you said before, Maria, I studied business informatics, but early in my career, I really focused on building up the technology skills, working as a data and AI engineer on big data topics, building huge centralized systems in companies, so quite technical. After a couple of years, I moved closer really to the intersection of business and technology. And now I'm working as a data and AI architect, really helping to translate the business needs into real actionable tech architectures or technical roadmaps. So I really enjoy to work in this intersection in AI, really between business, the business processes and the strong technology skills we are bringing in. And I think that also differentiates us as Deloitte, because we are bringing together the strong business process know-how and on the other side, the technical skills. So for example, I worked with Jessica on a project where her team brought in the business perspective and my team handled the tech side. And I really liked how we were able to handle the client challenges end to end as a team together. And I think that's also the great thing with GenAI and large language models. We can build really complex AI systems in the background, but for the business users in the end, it's quite easy to use via natural language, or even it's fully automated. And I think that makes it really interesting now to work in the financial service industry, because there's a lot of we can do for the business users and the customer in the end.
Thank you. And I couldn't agree more what you just said. So, I mean, it starts with the technology, and technology is so important, but obviously really we need to go beyond. And Deloitte, with all the expertise, can cover it end to end. I couldn't agree more. Thanks. So let's zoom a bit more into the work we are doing with our clients on a day-to-day business. So we've heard a lot about where we are, where we're coming from. Also, we've heard a bit around AI agents. So what's important for our clients? And maybe Jessica, starting with you. So getting some insights. So what are your recent AI projects? And where you've been involved, and also what was special about it.
Yeah, so thank you. And yeah, I'm happy to share my insights. So like Christoph already mentioned, we were together on a project, and I will deep dive on it a bit further. So as I mentioned earlier, the banking industry is just at the beginning to integrate AI into their operational business. So recently we were pleased to see that a bank aimed to implement AI in a 360-degree project within its company. So what does it mean exactly? So the project involves integrating, first of all, an AI strategy, like also Maria mentioned at the beginning, then implementing an operating model and an enablement framework. So how can we include the AI, taking in consideration that we implemented already structures within a bank and like really much processes. But somehow we also had to focus on people and communication. So without people and communication, our companies in general, they don't work. So we always also had to focus like on how to transform the people in a new way of thinking, for example, and not to forget incorporating like the use cases. And one of the major points is the technology, where Christoph was leading the team. But these were the major topics we are facing in this project. And as you can see, so it's much more than just including the technology. It's really to include everybody in this transformation. And because AI will not disappear, AI will be included in every situation we can think about. And this leads me to another point, because in the past, banks followed traditional ways of working. So such as inputting information into a system and knowing what information would be provided in the end. And however, AI changes this dynamic. So with AI, we input information into a system without knowing exactly what comes out and will be generated. So somehow this is a totally change of the way of thinking, how normally the colleagues in the banking industry consider. But and then given that AI is a rapidly evolving field with the new information emerging daily, staying up to date is really crucial. And initially we had to update the bank on the latest AI developments to bring them on a similar level of understanding as ours, because actually they wanted to integrate AI, but somehow they needed a basis, and somehow it was good that we were one step ahead for this, and could update the bank in general. Then the speed of AI development is remarkable. So at Deloitte, we always strive to stay one step ahead of our clients, ensuring we don't overlook the important topics. But this can also be challenging for us. So Deloitte is also but it's a company, and our colleagues have to transform into the new way of thinking with AI. So and now another step comes. This is the AI agents, and but the AI agents topics is now an interesting topic where the banking industry is finding more and more interest. So because with AI and agents, you will have much more opportunity to drive the efficiency, like we do with the current GenAI topic. So clients are increasingly eager to understand AI and integrate it while considering all regulatory requirements. So we are optimistic about the future, and looking forward to what will happen.
Wow, thanks, Jessica. Thanks for this comprehensive view. That helps a lot. And indeed, as you just said, so we are also running through this transformation, every organization, basically, right? And collaboration is so important in many dimensions, also to serve our clients, being this step ahead, even if in this fast-moving environment. Daniel, now I would like to understand your perspective, really. How do we usually kick off the interaction with our clients? And yeah, what are our clients interested in getting us on board?
Okay. So I think I'm going to touch a little bit on what Jessica just mentioned, because in particularly banks, these are very heavy machines, right? Because it's very difficult to actually transform, even though with all this technology, it seems very easy, but there's a lot of processes, there's a lot of regulations, there's a lot of things. And I think clients are still embarking on this AI journey first, right? So they do have a lot of doubts. They lack technical internal expertise. So we really need to build with them the foundation so that we are same level whenever we are pitching or whenever we are approaching the client. So, but one thing that's clear is banks, they do want to adopt this technology, and they want to do different things, and they want to change the way they do some of their businesses by leveraging GenAI. So but typically what we do as an approach, because we like, and this technology, I think it brought something which is a lot more show not tell. So we develop and we build a lot of internal proof of concepts. We try to start with a proof of concept on the client so that we show that it really works, that we can go to an MVP, and then we can go to a production level solution. Because it's really important to understand, and even though it's very easy, very quick to build a proof of concept that delivers some value, scaling from a proof of concept to a production level application on a bank, as an example, it's a whole other level of complexity, right? So it's really important to show the clients that they do really need to go through this path. And that's typically how we approach clients when building these type of solutions, okay? And I think it's also important to for clients to understand that this technology is evolving very, very fast. And what's today the best of breed in terms of technology, large language model, tomorrow is going to be different, right? So we really need to guide them in understanding that this is going and changing exponentially on the approaches, the frameworks, so that we focus really on what's foundation and what's a no regret bet and approach and implementation, so that whatever we are building is going to work for the future, right? So building really those foundational capabilities that will allow them to further implement more use cases in the future. Okay, so really start from proof of concepts, then scale MVPs, and then production.
Thanks. Thanks also to give us a bit of flavor about our delivery life cycle, right? It always starts first with not telling, show me please. And then once we have a POV, then as you said, so I mean, coming out of this POV or POC stage is really challenging, right? Embedding it in systems and then having the regulatory proof as well, and really also the acceptance from employees using this. Then finally, that's a long way, as you just said. And as we humans are, for us, it's really tricky. We used to think linear, right? And then now think really exponentially. That's really tough. And this is, as you said, this combination is so important to help them then basically also to think ahead and exponentially. Thanks. Christoph, you're leading an engineering team, so I'm really interested in what do you think, which capabilities and talent is required to have a successful project team and to build a successful project team for our clients?
Yeah, great question. But honestly, I don't think there's one answer to it. It always depends on your scope and your ambition of your project. Are you just building a smart prompt to improve maybe information retrieval from an ESG report? Then you probably just need a strong AI engineer to implement it and to bring it to production. But if you're building an autonomous agent for the credit risk department, then you will need a whole team supporting you. You need a strong AI engineer, you need a data architect, you need a data engineer, you need IT experts that bring this to production. You need business experts, a change manager, legal expert, and maybe even more, I forget just right now. So it always depends on your scope and ambition. But I think to stretch also what Daniel said before, it's really important that you bring to your team the skills to bring AI to production. So not just building a model or leveraging it for a POC, but making them work in real enterprise environment. So you need to understand governance, security, monitoring, access management, backup, all the things that are often overlooked for a POC, but are critical for a long-term success in a company. Because in the end, only the productive use cases will turn AI into real value. So I think that's the key in a team. You need to understand how to get it to production then.
Thank you. And you mentioned the keyword, so training, enablement, and looking a bit closer to the technology itself. So maybe starting with Daniel again. So Daniel, how is Deloitte supporting you and your teammates, your colleagues, really staying ahead the curve, staying up to date in this fast-moving environment?
Okay. So I think Deloitte is a very large network of people, right? So and that's the beauty. Whenever I have a problem, for sure, someone may have already seen that same problem and may have already solved it. So that's one thing that really helps me first find solutions to some challenges, but and of course at the same time learn a lot with my colleagues. Right? And of course, there is all these e-learnings, hands-on workshops. Again, we try to enforce these for people that are very technical, people that are not that technical, from different levels, from beginners to very advanced levels. But I would like to as well emphasize one thing. So in terms of skill set as well, again, this programming world is changing, right? So a developer today is not the same as a developer 3 years ago, and it will not be the same in 3 years from now, right? So writing code and that's become somehow a commodity, let me put it this way. That's just single line of code. It's easy to code it right now, as long as you know what to ask it, right? And to emphasize what Christopher was saying, it's not just writing the code, it's about understanding the architecture, understanding how to interact with machines, understanding how do we build a solution, an application, which takes a lot more than just looking at the AI model that's doing something, right? So again, these skill sets, just to complement a little bit on what Christopher was saying, like communication skills, prompt engineering, this will be very important as part of the new developer. But if I look at the core components on what you try to focus learning, again, Python as a technology, of course, understanding how to fine-tune these models is also very, very important, because these large language models, like its name itself is large language model, which is a generic model, right? So it addresses general purpose topics. And what I think we will see is more narrow, more focused, very fine-tuned, adjusted models for very particular use cases. So learning about how to fine-tune these large language models is going to be very, very important. And of course, all of these agentic frameworks to build comprehensive solutions like LangChain, Creo AI, I don't know, the OpenAI SDK. Again, I'm going very technical, but it's really these new things, these new frameworks that we need to focus on. At Deloitte, we have access to a lot of trainings on all of these topics, which is great and allows me to keep updated on the topic.
Thank you for your perspective on that. Jessica, very quickly over to you. So you mentioned before, that we also running through or going through a transformation. So what are you using in your day-to-day business? Which GenAI tools are you using in your daily work? Just a short sneak peek into it.
Yeah, okay, no problem. So in general, like Daniel already said, so we in Deloitte, we have a lot of communities who support us on our daily work to get transformed also on this AI journey. But somehow what I actually also liked, maybe I would like to highlight it, because also yeah, we are still a company and we have to follow like trust and data privacy, for example. And I think it was quite good, or I liked this tool that Deloitte included somehow a driver license within Deloitte, and every colleague had the opportunity to go to dive in this driver license. And this driver license like actually included some major topics which we have to be aware of when using AI. For example, ethical background, or there were also like some points on the data privacy, which we have to be aware in using the tools which were implemented also at Deloitte. So somehow this is what I actually liked, that we will also prepare to use the AI tools. And may I be one sentence still to the AI tools? So we have a library at Deloitte where we can actually choose which AI tool really helps in our daily work. For example, for company ChatGPT, so our data is not being brought out of the world, so we can type in information which shouldn't be get out of the community of Deloitte. So somehow to shorten it a bit, what I just wanted to say.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Christoph, now you have the opportunity to close the loop on the GenAI discussion itself. So if you would have known or foreseen already this GenAI hype years ago, so what would you have been your recommendation to your younger self how to prepare for it? Any recommendation you have maybe for the audience? And this is also touching already a couple of questions we had.
Yeah, for sure. If I could go back in time, the easy answer would be pay attention to transformer architecture back in December 2017, right? And I would be quite good in time for the GenAI hype. But I would give a more general advice to everyone and my younger self then. Be curious, stay on top of new developments, read new papers, understand new technologies. The second, be hands-on. So don't just read papers, try out the new things, build prototypes, experience the pros and cons of a new technology yourself. And the third point, and I think that's something that is differentiating you from others, be concrete, focus on real-world use cases. Really try to adapt your learnings to a business problem. How does it help in the real world? How does it help a company to solve a problem? And that helps you to really make an impact with AI.
Thank you. Thank you. And I hope this touches a couple of questions we had in a chat. Maybe one further, Christoph, as you just there is one question, AI course. So what would you recommend in terms of an AI course to actually really also covering this intersection, bridging from business towards technology? Is there any recommendation you may have? Maybe it's not an explicit course, but maybe a recommendation.
Yeah, as a recommendation, I have a strong opinion on that, the intersection really comes with experience. So at the beginning, I would say start with one side, be on one side quite technical, learn the basics about the technology, do computer science, do mathematics, physics, or whatever that helps you to understand the basic. Or on the other side, focus on an industry, be quite good in banking, and then change over the time. So focus on the one side, be quite strong on this, and then adapt and bring in new experience from the other side, because just being in the intersection directly is quite difficult from my point of view.
Yeah, I feel I'm not feeling the pain, but I can just agree what you said, and I think it comes also with the experience, and maybe it comes with the collaboration of your colleagues, really understanding the position of each other, also what keeps them awake in the night, right? What is really their challenge helps a lot to come closer and to bridge this intersection between technology and business. I'm just looking into the chat and also looking on how many minutes we still have. here is increased overregulation by Europe. Okay, maybe this is a question to you, Jessica. Here, what's your perspective in terms of the regulation as we have it now with the AI Act? So what do you think? Is it over-regulated, and is there any recommendation you have for organizations, but then also for the audience here, how to stay ahead and to keep up with regulations?
Yeah, so thank you. It's kind of an interesting question, because this is also a question which, takes, comes back to my daily work or daily discussions. So I can give you a view or a perspective what I'm thinking about it. And this is based on some client discussions and also some podcast information. So somehow I know EU is one of the continents with who have such a regulation. And I know, okay, the US said just some weeks ago, okay, we don't consider any regulations anymore. But somehow we see that a lot of the US people still have a look on the EU AI Act in general, because there are somehow like really important things like, for example, transparency or documentation, which are literally already now under other regulations effect, which have to be considered when including a system, IT system. So somehow what we also heard from the market is that, for example, I just heard a podcast from Alep Alpha. They said actually that, the EU AI Act is somehow act which we have to consider, but somehow when we are in a banking industry, everything is regulated. So you also have to take care of certain documentation or other transparency things. So actually, we are the companies who are actually taking care of the AI also are considering already this fact, because the banking sector is a regulated sector, so doesn't make really the change to over-regulation. I hope it answered your question, but yeah, that's my perspective.
Thank you for your perspective. I mean, this is an evening filling discussion we could have on that, but maybe we have a very just a minute for the very last question, and this goes the question goes to Daniel. What is which challenges are facing our banking clients in terms of transformation? Is it more on the data side of things, so really data challenges, or is it more outdated current AI models or tools? Maybe
so I think it's both, or there are things related with just the data itself, because again, these models right now, in order to adapt to this new transformation, really require access to a lot of unstructured data, right? And that's never been the focus until now, looking into how to govern these unstructured data, because they have always been governing their structured data sets, their structured data, right? And also another level of complexity is that these AI agents, they take actions, as you were mentioning, Maria, they interact, they read from different systems. And for an agent to be implemented in an environment, it needs to connect to systems. And environments are somehow within banks not connectable, because there is no APIs, not everything is connected through an easy interface. And again, I would say short answer is the data, the access to the data, the governance of that data, and as well make sure that all the systems are available to be connected, so that we can transform the way banks do business using these AI agents.
Thank you, Daniel, for this answer. And yeah, looking at the time, so thanks to all of you for sharing your insights. It was fun. Thanks a lot. And with that, I'm handing back to Jens, to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, to you, respected colleagues, to Maria, to your really insightful keynote, and of course, as well, thank you, Jessica, Daniel, and Christoph, for the interesting Q&A, sharing your insights, and on the other hand as well, thanks to all of you out there. We would love to get your feedback, how you liked the webcast, and of course nobody's perfect. Sometimes it's as well helpful to get additional ideas. On the other hand as well, the outlook, what comes next. On the one hand, the kind of promotion block. Hopefully you like the topic, and of course we are already in the preparation phase for the next one. This will take place end of May, and in that case we will cover the topic of sustainability and climate, and which kind of impact innovative AI strategies will have in the future. And last but not least, we would like to offer you as well the opportunity, and hopefully you liked the exchange and get a little bit more, even though it is only virtual flavor. Okay, which kind of colleagues, and as well first glimpse of culture, how we behave, how we tell the stories and share the insights. We would really like to invite you as well to connect with the different colleagues via LinkedIn, and doesn't matter where you are now. I don't know, maybe in the last 1 or 2 semesters of your studies, or some of you are in, I don't know, working in a bank or another respected competitor in the market. Of course, we are more than open and interested to stay in contact with you, and we will do our very best to support you as well if you are interested to join Deloitte. And the good news is, even though the economic situation is demanding for all of us, we are growing and we have different job opportunities in many different disciplines, and we will share this as well afterwards. And having this said, then we can close the webcast in a minute. You will, I guess, the first question in the Q&A was as well if we will share the slides. We recorded the whole webcast. We will provide it to you afterwards in a small newsletter and share as well some additional aspects. And I guess you are all aware about the website, and there we will have as well continuous, not only business and tech insights, but as well current vacancies and the links for the local job boards. So having this said, once again, thank you very much to all of you, and hope to see and talk to you soon, and enjoy the evening. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.